Oh, I'm alright. Thank you, though. I gotta work tomorrow.
I'm going to interview tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't stop anyone else.
I know.
True. Let's not mention that in the cast, by the way.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah.
Biggity what? Oh no! Crunchcast number 14. It was a UFC weekend Crunchcast here in Denver. We all went to see UFC. Who are we all? Well, first of all, we got some guys here in studio. First is our regular Brian McConnell here from Denver, but we also have our usual Skype guest, Jon Jones.
Hi, everybody!
Not the UFC guy, of course, but close enough, right?
I'm practically the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want
Bam! Bam!
Did you want to mention your email you got about your website?
Oh my god. So I finally got JonJones.com after waiting for 11 years. And after the UFC Jon Jones defended his title successfully, someone went to my website and posted and said, what the fuck are you doing, wasting this website? You should just give it to Jon Jones, UFC lightweight heavyweight champion. Woo! You fucking herb. I don't even know what that means.
I'm not sure what a herb is. I think he might have been trying to say a racial slur or something else, but who knows? We're just white guys.
Yeah.
What do we know?
It's probably short for Herbert.
Herbert. Maybe he meant like Herb Dean, the referee.
But wouldn't that be kind of a compliment?
I don't know. Either way, so check this out. We all went, and my buddy Alex, who works at Bethesda, he flew out as well. He had to fly back the very next day, so we were pretty busy, and we didn't get to do this particular Crunchcast as early as we wanted to, but hey, here it is. Better late than never, right?
Oh, yeah.
C'est la vie, as the French don't say.
So because that's kind of what happened, we're going to start by just talking about that UFC event, but first, the Friday night before that, myself and Brian McConnell over here,
Yeah.
we had tickets to see Joe Rogan at the Paramount. So we saw Joe Rogan, who, his opener, and I guess it's his favorite opener, the guy that always announces him, is Joey Diaz, who Joe Rogan explains to you is the funniest man alive, or something like the funniest living human. I forgot the exact wording he said, but this guy just comes out like a freight train. If you've never seen Joey Diaz, Joey Coco Diaz, Joey Karate, if you're into MMA, he was in The Longest Yard and a few other movies. I think he's in like Spider-Man or one of them. Anyway, this dude is a slayer. He just comes out and just starts killing the audience.
Oh yeah, and I think it helped because he said he lived in Boulder for a long time.
Yeah. Well, he did time in Boulder. He was locked up for.
Okay.
So he spent a while in Boulder.
Yeah. He's done some serious stuff in his life. So yeah, if you can look him up on. Well, we'll go over that in a minute, but after he came out and just steamrolled it, the next comedian was Ari Shaffir, who's
he did amazing.
Hilarious. Again, another just a hilarious, awesome comedian. Then that went right into Rogan, who came out and just intense. Like I mean, I listened to his podcast, and I watched him do the UFC commentaries and seen the Fear Factor. And I know he's pretty awesome guy, but his stand up, if you've never seen it, it's just intense. It's just coming at you like. Think about all this crazy stuff right now, kind of guy. Like he's just.
That's one reason why I love him so much is he doesn't hold anything back. He goes for it. If he thinks he's going to offend somebody, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
So.
And just a little bit of his act is impressions.
Yeah. He's starting to whip out the impressions.
He said before, he's like, look, I'm not great at impressions, but he can do a few pretty good. And he likes to go to those, and they're very funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a great way to start our weekend. Just really hyped us up. Got us going, but to check out those guys, Joey Diaz, you can check him out at Mad Flavor, Mad Flavor's World on YouTube. You can see all this funny stuff he does. Ari Shaffir, he has a podcast called The Skeptic Tank, and Joe Rogan has the Joe Rogan Experience. Obviously, you Google any of these guys,
you're gonna get thousands and billions of hits.
Yeah, billions of hits, more hits than the national deficit.
Yeah.
And if you follow Chris Holden for any length of time, you'll run into Ari Shaffir about 15,000 times Didn't you see him? Like,
dude, this is
Yeah.
so crazy. So we're at the UFC event. This is part of the UFC story, but I'll just go ahead and throw it out there because we just talked about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're Joe Rogan's buddies. They're there at the event. I could like see, like there he is, that guy. That you can see where they're sitting. You can see all the celebrities, blah blah blah, whatever. It's great. So Ari, for some reason, the section we're sitting in was a really good section. It was like right up. You could see everything. Anyway, we're looking down at him and we see Ari. And all of a sudden, Ari jumps the wall and runs up past us with security chasing him, and he's like jumping over this bar and getting out. I don't know where he was going, but that guy just jumped the wall.
Yeah.
And we're like, Ari! And he's like running from security so he doesn't stop to acknowledge us.
Yeah.
But then, like, I don't know, a few minutes, 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour later. I don't even remember how long it was, but he all of a sudden appears right behind us.
Yeah.
With a beer or a drink, like a soda or something like that. And he's like, it's one of the fights is going on. And he's like, oh no. And he's like, I can't get back down there. And I turn around, I'm like, hey, Ari. And he's like, hey. We were there last night. And he's like, cool. Like, I forgot what he said, but
he's basically just thanking us for
yeah, just being very
so.
thankful. He's a very nice guy. But I didn't even want to talk to him because I'm like, look, this guy was looking for a seat. He's got shit going on.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to let him know we enjoyed the show. That's it.
Yeah.
And then we're leaving, and we're rolling out in our van. All of a sudden, we're just driving out in the middle of nowhere, leaving, and there he is on the side of the street, just right there in the corner.
Like, yeah,
we
right
roll
on the
down the
corner.
window. Ari!
all 3 times he was within like less than 15 feet.
Yeah, just right there.
Yeah.
Just kept running into this guy.
Shit, if I would have known he was standing on the corner, I would have bumped him with the van, so we could like try to get a number for like insurance reasons or whatever.
Just bumped him with the van.
I love running into celebrities and talking to their insurance companies. It gets me so hot.
No,
he's a fucking awesome man.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Weren't you asking me like door check somebody with a sliding door?
Oh yeah.
Wait, he told him to door check somebody with a sliding, because we were in Brian's van. It has sliding doors, and he's like, John, door check him, and John's like, with a sliding door? Yeah, good times.
Oh shit.
So yeah, let's just we'll go right at the UFC thing. That started pretty early for us, because the doors opened at 3 p.m.
We were there about 3:45.
Yeah, we got there earlier than we needed to, but
Which
that was
was
fine.
great.
That was
Yeah.
fine because we got to sit there and check out everything. Have plenty of time to go to the bathroom or whatever, which we didn't. We just sat there going, "Oh, look at the lights." But yeah, it was great because we're there. We're seeing everybody filling in, and finally they start playing the crazy music, and you see you'll see people filing in. You see them filming the pre-show down around the octagon, and it's really interesting. When you just watch it on TV, you get where the camera's showing you, and it's a great view, and you get the announcers, and that's awesome. But when you're really there, there's so many different things that are happening.
Yeah.
Like so many interesting things.
It's like the light show and watching that one crazy spinning camera, like where they get all like little crazy wide.
Yeah, where they have the
shots.
big panning shot across the octagon. It's basically a camera that's like a hook on a hook. So it's just one makes it pan and one makes it goes up and down, and it's just panning it right in front of us the whole time, just swinging around.
Yeah.
It's like half the time in front of the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
At first, when I sat down, I didn't realize what it was. I'm like, oh, great, there's this big black bar right in the middle of Jumbotron. Then as soon as they start filming stuff, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's just fun to watch it wave around. Yeah, the place was, I don't know if it was sold out, but I heard on the press conference they said they did really well and had like, we were there. The Pepsi Center is a big freaking place. There was a few times where I looked up at the ceiling, so I thought I was going to fall forward. Because the way the place was, we were at a height to where what was directly in front of us was like the big monitors that show everything, and then the cage was right down below that. So when you look up, it makes that in your mind like this is the ground.
Yeah.
And so suddenly it's like, oh no! It's because it's such a huge, and it's such a bizarre feeling when you get that vertigo from that height.
Yeah, it's
totally.
it's just a bowl too, so it like gets steeper as it goes up, and at the top, I guess that's probably like most stadiums, but
Oh yeah.
at the top it's like actually
Yeah, like we
kinda
were on an
scary
angle
looking.
kind of like this, and then up above us was the people that were way up, and they're on an angle like that, where it's just like seat on stairs.
Like
Yeah.
perfectly behind the big screens.
Yeah. And like I said, by the time we were at the main event, usually a lot of like American audiences don't come for Undercard. They don't seem to care about the prelims. Although I'm a total MMA nerd, as you probably know already from the show. But I'm like, yeah, I want to see every bit of that. I want to see those guys walk to the ring. I want to see everything.
Like I'm gonna be honest. I don't follow MMA or UFC very often, but I do like seeing two guys beat the crap out of each other.
especially undercard guys that want it.
Yeah, they're the ones that are fighting for it most. I mean, unless it's like a title shot, of course.
Well, it's a tough call to say if they're the ones fighting for it the most, but
yeah,
you can't really judge a guy's heart until you see him fight.
Yeah,
and if those guys just go out there and give you everything, then
yep.
Yeah, there are a couple pretty solid undercard matches. Like the guy, oh god, that guy that got his head beaten to absolutely nothing. It felt like 4 hours of just someone that's jackhammering his forehead.
Well, the preliminary card, there was basically the first fight was a knockout in the first round. The second fight was a knockout or TKO in the second round. And the third fight went to decision, and that was the one the crowd was a bit antsy about. Yeah. One of the cool things about the Denver crowd is they were very clear if they liked something.
Yeah.
And if they didn't like something, like they let suckers know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me, player?
Like if they don't like what's going on down the ring, they just start opening fire.
Yeah, it just went right into... People just go right into booze. Like, Denver crowd is like, most people there, you pretty cool, open-minded people because Denver's a cool city. But because it's also Colorado and the Midwest, you still get good old country boy, cowboy, USA patriot kind of people. It's Colorado Springs, it's all military and Christian, and it's just the Midwest. It's like that. So, like, guys like Matt Hughes who were on the card, people just eat that guy up. He came out to, like, that Country Boy Can Survive or something like that, an Army of One t-shirt. Yeah. Just coming out and milking the crowd. Like, just doing what he does.
It's like a Whataburger commercial, him walking out.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the prelim was just... those guys just came out strong. Amazing.
What was the name of the Japanese...
The guy that won?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to butcher this name.
Yeah, that's fine.
Takeya Mitsugaki.
That's right. I knew
Takeya Mitsugaki, yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty impressed by his
He was pretty awesome. Usually, apparently this guy put all the fights into statistics and found out like all these crazy statistics. And apparently Japanese fighters lose 70% of the time here in the States in UFC fights. And there's some talk about this among some of the like higher level MMA guys where they say about that traveling that distance, going to Japan isn't that tough on the body, but coming from Japan to America can be really tough on the body because not only are you have all that jet lag, but you're also losing a huge amount of day, and it can really affect the mind. Apparently it has a big effect, but this guy didn't obviously affect him because he whooped that boy's ass.
Yeah.
He did a great job, but I can attest to the crazy jet lag going from east to west as opposed to west to east. Mm-hmm. And I brought up.
You've been to China at least once.
Just the once. That was my one. That was my most serious like international excursion. But flying over there, so there's I think at the time there's a 13-hour time difference. That was a big deal.
Gosh.
That was it was 4 hours from Austin to San Fran and 13 and a half hours on the plane from San Fran to Shanghai.
Yeah.
And it was, the next day when I got there. And I was able to adjust within a day or two. But flying back, oh my God, I was wrecked for a month. I averaged...
That's what you said, a whole month.
2 hours of 2 hours of sleep per night.
I mean, you're a bit of a drama queen, but...
a month.
I'd say at least half a month for a regular person.
Yeah.
I've been to...
Fuck you, buddy. But no, you're right.
Back in November, I went to Germany, and I can at least attest to that jet lag being pretty brutal for about a week. But coming back, it wasn't that bad. I was fine in no time. But anyway, after that, they had the prelim televised card. Before that was on Facebook. This next part was on Spike. If you're there, you don't really notice so much, but they do announce it. So the show has breaks, noticeable breaks, like a buffer comes out and he says, "Everybody, where are we going? We'll be doing this soon, and you've got 10 minutes. Do what you gotta do." You know, like one of those deals, which is pretty cool. I
thought it was funny how, like, whenever he was out there, like, announcing the fighters, he had, like, the big sheaf of paper in his hands. He used to be just tossing that everywhere, and there's someone behind him that's just like, and just like the kiff of their Zap Brannigan. He's like walking up and just picking up the shit he's throwing everywhere and walking back to the edge of the stage and waiting.
Hey, that dude's got a great job, man.
Yeah.
Imagine how easy that job is, and you get to sit ringside for everything.
It's like only
that's
slightly.
What it's all about.
That's a pretty good job. It's like
job.
almost like the Vanna White of the UFC.
Kind of even easier than that, though. I mean, like that's one of the things. Back when I used to do the pro wrestling stuff, when I was trying to get into that,
Mm-hmm.
you had to work the shows and like help out. Like I had to do lighting a lot. It's the easiest job in the world, man. You just sit there and like, oh, I just do the intro lights and then just kick back and watch this fight up close.
At football games, they always hire those little kids. They hire little kids to run out and grab the tee. It's really cool. I would love to be one of those little kids. They're only like, they're probably like 10
It makes
years
them
old.
feel good.
Yeah,
Because they're out there being involved and they got a front row seat.
And they always do the mile high salute. And, yeah, it's pretty cool.
And the football people get free child labor. Everybody wins.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just fun for kids. Hey, so the first preliminary bout was Nick Ring versus Tim. How do you say that? That Boesch? It was like Boetsch.
Boesch.
Boesch.
The mighty Boesch.
So apparently, remember this fight? It got kind of stale.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Apparently, afterwards, Nick Ring kind of apologized for his performance, saying that he didn't do what he wanted or whatever. Who's to say? Either way, I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna say anything about it. That dude is big. He'd kill me. But on the other hand, that crazy judo takedown that Tim Boesch did. Remember where he grabbed the guy and flipped him?
How could
if you can find footage of this,
That was incredible.
that was awesome. Being there live, seeing these two big heavyweight or middleweights, close but right below. Anyway, two big ass dudes, and he grabbed him and just threw him through the air and landed on him like a pro wrestler dropping a forearm on a guy. It was just it was awesome.
It was a very awesome takedown because it was like a roll over his back, and then landing on top.
Literally,
and he was already
Nick Ring was
flush with his
360
body.
through the air.
Yeah.
Dude did a full front flip, and he was already
And his
before he
body
even
was
hit the
straight
ground.
up stiff, so when he flipped over, you saw this huge body of a man just go through the air. Now, on the videos, I'm sure it looks awesome, but just being there and just seeing a guy, all of a sudden, you're watching these fights, you get accustomed to guys kind of being here, just doing this for a while, and whatever, they're on the ground. But when you see a dude's feet up over the cage, what?
That's the
was
thing that amazed
crazy.
me the most about the whole event. Like, it's one thing to see all the crazy up close pay per view angles and makes them seem larger than life, but actually seeing it, I mean, like physically, it's like, okay, that's actually two dudes there. I'm watching two dudes in real life do this.
Yeah, dude, that was one of those moments that really kind of grounded it. Like, it seems so surreal that you're just there and you got the cage and there's thousands of people around you screaming and all. But then when you see that this guy, like you said, it's so surreal. It's thrown through the air. Like, whoa, I'm really seeing this happen.
Hell yeah.
Remember the dude that jumped up on the other guy, got the leg lock around his legs, and just started wailing on him, hanging upside down.
Yeah.
That was some of the craziest shit I've ever seen, dude.
Oh my gosh, the whole thing was freaking amazing. I loved how they, because how they play the previews for the fighters before they come out on when you're watching it on TV.
Hey Chris, could you grab me one too, please?
Oh, you. What do you want? 9 show?
Yeah. Sorry, Ryan.
Oh no, I just thought it was cool that they actually played those on the monitor too.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing was freaking amazing. They always kept your attention. I was trying to go to the bathroom the whole time, but all the stalls were taken in the guys' room.
Mm-hmm.
So
Number 2.
yeah. So I was just
Thanks, that.
I was just pretty much enjoying the whole time.
Yeah, those bathrooms. Well, I will say, if you just had to come take a piss, those bathrooms were fine. Actually, there was one point where I was like, oh no, I'm between rounds. I've got 90 seconds. I gotta pee. So I'm just going for it. And I got up, and the line was just way out the door. Here's the door, and it's way out there. And I'm like, oh no, I'm never gonna get in there. But the line was moving in kind of quick. I'm like, all right. And I got in where that point, you go to these bathrooms, and they have the door, and it's a door that looks in, and then it turns again, so nobody can kind of walk by and see in.
Yeah.
And so when I got to that first turn, then I saw the dudes lined all the way around to the urinals. I was like, oh no. But then that line just kept moving, and when I came back to my seat, round started. I was like, how did that happen? How did it go that fast that I had 20 plus dudes ahead of me were peeing? I got in there and I peed forever too. It was like people were coming and going, and I was like, finish. And it wasn't a case of I wasn't gun shy at all. I was not gun shy at all. I walked right up to that urinal. I'm like, all right, time to pee. Looked for a spot on the wall, found it, and started going, focusing in hard, and it's like, trying to get it done.
Yeah.
And it just immediately coming out, and it just wouldn't stop. I'm like, man, this is the ultimate pee championships right here, and I'm getting beat down. So, but yeah, I was very lucky that worked out.
Well, I think part of the reason it moved so fast is when I went in there, that bathroom had more misdirected pee than any place I've ever set foot in my life.
Dude, there was a lot of misdirected pee, but I've seen worse. I've been to a WWE show, so.
Oh.
That's because there's kids.
Yeah.
You hardly saw any kids at this UFC show. I mean, yeah, there were some there with families, but most all the people you saw there were like big, fucking roided out dudes.
Yeah.
I saw more big, thick dudes. Like when I went to the bathroom, every dude in line ahead of me, there was not a skinny dude, and all these guys were just like,
oh yeah,
tight shirts. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, dude, I was scared to talk to any girls just because that if there's a hot chick at a UFC event, she's with some ripped up dude.
I went to the bar. I bought one beer like all night, and I went to the bar that one time, and those people behind it were like, I don't know what was going on there. It was crazy, but I was there for quite a while, and this dude comes up behind me, and we're there for quite a while, and then finally the guy, even though the guy like gave me before the other dude walked up, he kept arguing with me that the guy was first. And I'm like, no, I was here first. And even the guy, I was kind of scared to say, this dude's like I said, this dude's bigger than hell.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had a goatee, so he's tough.
Yeah.
But he was like totally nice. He was super cool. And he's like, no, he was here first. But we had already had a long conversation about what the fuck are these guys doing behind this bar, because one guy was taking the orders, checking the IDs, taking the money, pouring the beers, and then there was another guy behind him who was like Methuselah old, like 7,000. He would tell him the order and then give him the money, and then he'd turn around and go to the cash register. And it wasn't like it was a long way away. It was, da 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 da, beer, da 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 da. It was like right there. It was ridiculous. I had no idea what was going on with the operation. And the guy didn't even want a tip, because when he gave me my change, he gave me a 10. If you've ever been to a bar, folks, and your change is $10, they give you a 5 and 5 singles, or all singles. So you will drop $1. Boom. And I would have done it just to be cordial, but they gave me back a 10. I didn't have anything. I'm not going to give you 10.
That's literally like saying, I do not want a tip. Please leave.
That was what he was saying. He said, here's $10. Don't tip me. Like, thank you. You saved me $1, sir.
So he's not long for this earth. What is money to him?
He doesn't care about money. The dude has got a bartender job at the Pepsi Center, and
he's like the crypt keeper, he's the barkeeper.
He is on it. He is just checked out on life. So anyway, the main card.
We watched him peak.
I'm sure he did something really awesome in his life when he was somewhere between 30 and 50, or possibly even in his 20s.
Yeah.
But now, let's go to the main card.
I love how he just wrote off someone's life.
Look, he wasn't even there for us to talk about. It's just.
He's a wonderful grandfather.
Look, John.
He loves his family.
John kept egging on the fact that he's like, hey, talk shit about this guy more. Just taking us there. He's taking us there, folks. My camera's all blurry.
That's what
I gotta do this to get it to see my face again. The preliminary card started with the Diaz brother that is able to show up for press conferences.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz versus Takanori Gomi. Gome? I think it's Gome. They say it Gome, I think. Who, if you watch the old Pride fights and stuff back in the day, Gome he's a legend. He's done so much, and he does these crazy fights, and he is a very exciting style. And Nate apparently didn't even want to fight him because he respected him so much. But in the fight, Nate just ran through him. It was only one round, and Nate's striking was so superior and so confident that he started like doing all those like talk shit moves, like dancing in the ring in front of him and doing all these silly things in front of him, and then ended up winning by a freaking arm bar.
That was like the cleanest fucking arm bar I've ever seen. That was fucking science.
Yeah.
Well, those Diaz brothers are amazing. And if it wasn't for all the things that happened to Nick, he might be like the top guy right now, because he is just freaking amazing. I got nothing bad to say about the guy's ability, man. That guy trains and does like, I think triathlons or decathlons or something like that. Like he goes from defending a title to running a triathlon or something. something ridiculous like that. And his just ridiculous cardio, just amazing athletic guy.
Sounds like he ascribes to subscribes to the school of Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. Pain don't hurt.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the guy is like he's a pure, true warrior. If you really follow what those Diaz brothers do, those guys are just true fucking warriors all the way. And, you know, like I said, there's a lot of this PR stuff that kind of, and media that looks at them in a weird light, but you gotta kind of admire how they're just no-nonsense dudes.
You're going to get that with every celebrity. Is that the...
My air conditioner cut on. I'm going to cut that off real quick because it picks up a lot of sound.
It's my bowels vibrating. I've been eating poorly.
I thought you were going to say I've been eating pork. That's what I heard. It would have been funnier.
Same difference.
So yeah.
Actually, those barbecue pulled pork nachos they had, really tasty, but like swallowing a hand grenade.
Let's see here. You know, there was Travis Brown, Rob Brown.
But I would like to reiterate again, look for the video of that Nate Diaz fight. The armor he got. Oh my god, that was magical.
It's a beautiful fight. Yeah, the Travis Brown, that went to decision. It wasn't really that exciting a fight. But it was a heavyweight bout in Denver, Colorado, where the altitude is high. And it can bust you on that. But if you really want to know where that can bust you, is the Ben Rothwell-Mark Hunt fight, which was actually kind of a fun fight to watch. Like, these guys, okay, people immediately gave it a lot of... People criticized this fight, saying that the altitude got to them and blah, blah, blah. But the real point is, these two guys... just like beat on each other hard for like a round and a half, and then like that was it.
Yeah.
And what you really have to think about is these two guys are like heavyweight knockout artists that just buzz people up, and the more shots people take, the more it drains your cardio. So, I mean, yeah, you could criticize their cardio and the altitude, and they weren't maybe say whatever, but. You know, they never stopped, even in like when they're like clearly
gassed.
They just kept going and kept trying things and just kept beating on each other. So it was it was an entertaining fight in light of what it was.
Yeah. You know what fucking killed me about it though was that was the one fight where I chose. Well, like, okay, I cannot hold in my pee any longer, so I went ahead and...
I remember you got up for that one.
Yeah, I went ahead and like ran to the bathroom.
Dude, that's the one that I peed for too, and I peed between the rounds, and I was like, got it. I went for a beer, actually.
Yeah,
I went for a beer, and I was there for so long. I told that story a second ago about the stupid beer story. Mm-hmm. But at some point during that, I looked at the guy, I'm like, who won? He goes, it's still going. Well, dude, and for some reason, they made 5 minutes last longer.
It's magical. Well, like, so I got up in the middle of that, and I went to use the restroom, and I went to get a beer, and so when I left, they're wailing on each other. When I got back, they're like, hold on.
Yeah. There was one moment where he like stepped back and did put his hands on his knees.
Yeah, Robert actually did do that. Yeah, I think he was leaning
funny.
Against the cage for a little bit.
Like, I got back, I'm like, what the hell happened? It seemed like such a short period of time to go from just like, kill you, to kill me.
Like, man, I feel bad for the guys in the fact that like, the way that performance might have made them feel bad, but I still respect both those dudes, and I understand the performance they put on, and the beating they put on each other that might have led to that result. And like, those guys were, like I said, for us it was entertaining. Like, we were kicking back and having a good time, especially me and Alex. We were loving that fight. Oh, dude! And I had to rewatch it to hear the commentary on it, just to hear what Joe had to say, because he's so silly.
And dude, I mean, you're right. I got to give those guys, props. I make fun, but like here in Denver, if I go up like 3 flights of stairs, I'll put a gun in my mouth.
Oh, there was an interview with like Steven Seagal, who was there apparently.
Really?
Steven Seagal has been getting like into this whole MMA thing apparently. And,
oh God!
And now everybody interviews him because he's famous. and he's at the show.
A famous fake ass kicker. Wow.
And apparently he was wheezing through a sentence where he criticized him for altitude, like the altitude getting to him. Anyway,
well, you have no idea how much oxygen having that ponytail and that squint takes up.
Well, forget about all that. Just come out to Denver sometime and drive up in the mountains and see how you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
I felt like a god in California.
Oh God, dude.
I felt like I could.
If I travel anywhere, it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Just drinking all day, like
yeah. What? No big deal.
It's like master race,
I'm just a little
motherfucker.
tired. So yeah, let's move out of that into the co-main event of the evening, which there's not really that much to talk about because it only lasted one round.
I expected that to go longer.
Matt Hughes, Josh Koscheck.
Do people really not like Josh Koscheck, or was that just the Denver crowd that didn't appreciate him because they appreciated Hughes more?
Koscheck understands the value of being the heel, the bad guy, and has he kind of got it early on and has kind of embraced it. And let's say, if you think back to that UFC and the way the crowd reacted, who had the most heat that night? Obviously, Josh Koscheck.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easily.
Like the boos drowned out anything anybody else said.
Yeah.
Did I pronounce
even when Koscheck was trying to like give his speech afterwards, where he's like, Matt Hughes is great and I respect Matt Hughes, everybody's like, boo.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you shouldn't be booing now. You should just be like, all right, and then you can. But the point is, this guy has mastered the art of being a heel and a bad guy, and he's not really a bad guy. I mean, it's not like he beats his wife and, dude. When was the last time you heard about Josh Koscheck going on a rampage in a truck, driving on the sidewalk and running into people and crashing cars in a UFC car with his face on the side?
A rampage, you say?
A rampage. Going on a rampage. But yeah, like Josh Koscheck really hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just does a good job of being a bad guy, and that makes money.
And
being the biggest heat at that show will make him more money. And now he beat Matt Hughes in the first round, will make him more money. And so yeah, that's just him being a businessman. That's him being smart.
Yeah.
Watching him run into the ring, watching how he behaved himself, and just the way he was holding himself. He's such a smud prick.
Exactly.
And he bleaches his hair. That annoyed me.
Yeah, it makes him look like a Muppet and all that stuff. Yeah, exactly.
That annoyed me.
Anybody that's seriously like, oh, this guy, boo. You lose the game.
Yeah.
You just lost the game.
He already got to you.
He is thanking you for the money.
And see, he should totally play that up. Like, instead of saying, I respect Matt Hughes as a competitor, just talk about something and stop. Just like, oh, sorry, a little bit of Matt Hughes. Anyway.
Well, that's a little silly. But yeah, that fight, man. Koscheck won that fight. And Matt Hughes, we're going to miss you. He gave us a lot of crazy stuff back in his day, but I think it might be his time.
I think he broke his ankle. They're gonna take him out behind the stable and shoot him.
Yeah, put him down.
No,
It's what you do.
You're gonna see him a lot. He's a big money maker, but he's not gonna be. He might not be fighting so much anymore, according to Dana.
Not really.
Anyway, let's talk about that main event that everybody wants to know about. Light heavyweight championship. Jon Jones, the champion, versus the challenger, Quinton Rampage Jackson.
We should have done spoiler alerts for all of these.
Well, it happened a few days ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Anybody that truly cares ain't about hearing this will probably have already known, and if not, you should care more and read the news.
I was like half joking. So
yeah, we're more,
I know,
we're
dude,
more just giving our take on being there.
See Jon Jones' elbow, bam!
What it was like.
I'm gonna have to get stitches now.
He throws them, bro.
Oh yeah. But anyways, yeah, Jon Jones, Rampage Jackson. Dang, the crowd was really getting into that one. Like
the crowd was into like they would boo and cheer
at the same exact time.
Kind of equally. Like the crowd was split on both guys.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I saw a lot of people wearing Rampage shirts and Rampage chains. obviously Jon Jones doesn't have like a gimmick thing that he wears or a special noticeable shirt.
It's like stilt elbows and arms.
Yeah.
But there was literally a moment where I heard the crowd yelling, "Let's go Rampage" and "Let's go Jon Jones" at the same time,
Yeah,
and you
that's
couldn't
always
tell.
cool.
You couldn't tell like what they were saying because it was like mixing. So it was very
And
cool
deafening.
and deafening.
Oh yeah.
The crowd was like I would hear the crowd start to chant like "Kosek sucks" or something like that.
Yeah,
And it was like, oh yeah, everybody's cheering this shit. That's funny. And all of a sudden,
it would build.
it would get scary.
Yeah.
Because it would be so loud, it was deafening. You couldn't hear anything. Like it was just get to that point where it's like, "Kosek sucks," and then it gets louder and louder. So it's like, it's just like a deafening, just solid noise.
Yeah.
You can't. It's like, oh my god, this place has got to be sold out. It's ridiculous.
And dude, I gotta say, at one point they were chanting, "Let's go, Jon Jones." I have to say that's one of the most surreal experiences of my entire fucking life.
Oh,
yeah.
this is your
Hearing
name.
a stadium of 50,000 people chanting your name. I know obviously it's not for me, but I've always had my name, and just on some level I'm just like, what the fuck, man? It was really trippy, but oh man, that was a solid fight. Like I saw like dozens and dozens of the Rampage's chain necklaces just like sticking out of trash cans after.
Oh really?
No.
I was gonna say what? That's a little disrespectful. Seems like an awesome guy.
It's like clogging the toilets.
Yeah. Dude, I'm never like, I would never be one of those guys. It's like, oh, this dude lost. Fuck him.
Yeah.
I always even respect a fighter in loss, and Rampage is very a good sportsman in loss. Like he even said, like I think his post fight interview said something like, I thought he was all hype. I didn't think he was the real deal, but he's the real deal, and he whooped my ass. Like he said something like that.
Yeah, immediately afterward.
Yeah.
I respected
Like
that.
that dude is like so professional. Like he does all his jokes and has all his fun, and does some unprofessional stuff. But at
Like
the end of the
farting
day,
in girls' faces.
at the end of the day, he's like, when it comes down to what he needs to do, he does it well.
Yeah.
Like dude, his walkout, the face that he's making, no one can do that face. That is scary.
Dude, it is.
And he came walking out. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get hurt. And I was in the stands.
He knocked me out with his glare alone. Like, yeah.
Dude, he has such presence. But a few times during the fight, watching him like on the jumbotron, just seeing like this real fucking concerned look in his eye, not scared.
Yeah, dude, it
just
was
concerned, just like, all right. That was a hell of a thing to see.
I think he said
that
something
actually
about
shook
that.
me a little bit. Just seeing
his
composure break.
Yeah.
That was I'm pretty sure I watched the press conference today that he or somebody said something about that, where they said that you get across the ring from this guy and you're like, you're doing all your stuff and nothing's happening. Like he didn't like land anything, and Jones was just beating him.
It was like 14-foot long.
Yeah, he
arms.
couldn't get in there, and he was throwing those kicks like a jab.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like, and apparently, and it's becoming a common thing. Like they say, like Jones is the next Anderson Silva, but this kind of happens. It's a stigma that immediately gets attached to a guy, where you're another fighter and you're across from him, and all of a sudden you're believing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And you get frozen in the mesmerizing presence of this person.
Oh yeah.
And apparently people are starting to say like that's happening to Jones, and that happens to Silva. Like Silva starts dancing in front of people, and then he's just like pow, and you die. You know what I mean? You've seen the fights, you know.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's. I mean, to me, I'm just like, as a fan, I'm just like, wow. Wow. Did you see this?
Yeah.
Did you see that happen? Like apparently Rampage hasn't never been finished in UFC. He hasn't been submitted since Sakuraba back in Pride.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Holy God!
It was like what Jon Jones did to Rampage was not only totally dominant, but like record breaking apparently.
Just explain to the listeners and viewers exactly what Jones did.
Was it?
He beat him bloody. No, Jones basically just controlled all 4 rounds. At the end of, it was kind of creepy. At the end of the second round, he pulled guard on Rampage, which basically meant he jumped up onto his body, pulled him to the ground, and got a triangle right at the buzzer. Like a triangle as a choke, as in this choke is like once it's on, you're done. And he just locked it right on at the buzzer, like for fun. And it seemed like, wow, way to send a message. And at the end of the third round,
Yep.
he shot the double, and with Rampage on him, then he just dumps it on his face and walks off.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, this dude is just sending messages.
Dude,
Like,
look
hard.
at Rampage's face after that. He's like, I'm going to shoot you in the parking lot.
Yeah, it was pretty mad. But there was just no answer. This guy was just coming at all angles. He's throwing all these crazy different... He's throwing leg kicks, but it's not just like a one kind of leg kick. It's like 4 or 5 different types of leg kicks. And all these crazy kicks to the head and strikes and spinning back elbows.
He
and
knocked Rampage's leg out that one time, remember?
It was pretty gross. But, yeah, it's just... Man, I don't know what to say.
It was a hell of a fight.
It's mesmerizing to watch this guy.
It's just awesome to be there live, too.
God, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, somebody asked me immediately. He goes... Because actually, this is kind of funny. Saturday, I got a text from one of my buddies, and there's a lot of local sports bars that show it. And he sends me the text. He goes, "Hey, you want to come watch UFC over here?" And I'm like, "No, I'm watching at the Pepsi Center," which is where the event was held. And he just replies, "You dick!" A few exclamation points. Because apparently he didn't know that I had tickets, or just kind of a lapse in memory. Either way.
Yeah.
But
Perfect.
it was awesome. But yeah, anyway, he asked me the next day. I ran into him, and he's like, "Tell me, I mean, was it really worth it? I mean, it's kind of expensive because the tickets weren't cheap."
Yeah.
No.
But he said, "Is it worth it?" And I was like, "Yes." Yeah, if you get a chance to go to, it doesn't matter what live show you're going to. If you get a chance to go to a live show of real awesome performers or people that put on a really amazing show, it's always worth it.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Just even if you can't afford like some nice seats because it is nice to be up close at a UFC fight because it's 2 people fighting. But even if you can't afford those nice seats, just buy like the $20 ones at the way top and just like work your way down.
$20.
I don't know if they're 20. There's
I doubt
I've
they
heard
got that
I've heard there's some for like 30.
You get like at the last minute.
Yeah, you
cheap
can probably
seats?
get some
Yeah.
cheap shit.
But I was like putting in the secret code word to buy early and stuff. So these are the highest prices. Damn it.
But you got some wicked seats.
They were pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, we were in the handicap section, so we didn't have anybody behind us. We had our own movable chairs that we could.
Yeah.
It was really awesome.
I saw this family. There's like a kid in a wheelchair. They had to like roll him down all the steps because it wasn't wheelchair accessible because we had that area.
It was kind of.
It wasn't our fault. There's a whole bunch of wheelchair accessible areas. It goes all the way around the stadium, a row of wheelchair accessible seats.
I know.
The only reason
I'm
I
just
got
being
the
a
seats,
bastard.
I didn't even think about it being wheelchair because when I bought the seats, I just went to the site and was just trying to find seats that weren't the first seats I could find that were less than $300.
Mm-hmm.
And these were the first seats I found. Now they weren't near that much. They were like $170 when you add all the extra charges that they put on there.
Which all things considered wasn't bad.
That's for what we had.
For
Here's the real
wheelchair
benefit.
area, we also got great parking.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good parking actually. I paid $20 for it, but I was like, here. Like as soon as we rolled in, like this, I was like, man, this is a good spot to park. And the guy just goes $20. I'm just like, I ain't having no problems with this. Like, here.
Yeah.
We're parking easy and we're getting out easy.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I mean, just give them the money. Don't worry about it.
We had such awesome seats that it was kind of scary because my ex-stepfather, who I didn't really get along with, happened to be standing literally right next to our seat when we walked in. And
Holy
we pulled our
shit!
chair out.
Really?
Yeah, that was my ex-stepfather.
Yeah, you were
with his
talking to
new
that guy
girlfriend.
forever. I thought you were hooking up.
Oh no, I
thought you were Jon Jones and you were networking.
Him and I did not get along at all. It was my mom's second husband, and him and I didn't get along at all. So I pulled him aside and I apologized for how immature I was. I did a lot of dumb shit when I was little. Like I egged his car for one. I did all sorts of shit to him. I treated him like crap. So I apologized to him, but it was just strange that he was standing like literally 4 feet from the chair.
He was right there.
Of the ticket.
Right
yeah.
Weird.
So it was weird.
Let's maybe like be able to kind of do that, get that kind of closure. It's not. It's
well, yeah.
It's not cool having an open beef.
It's kind of strange because I don't do the secret thing, but I do ask for like certain things to the universe. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Dude, I told you, Brian, you need to get behind your desk a poster of a Lamborghini, a hot chick, and a $sign.
Yeah.
And then the secret will come true.
Oh yeah. But
you'll be driving an H2 in a week. And you'll never get hit by a stray drive-by bullet.
But I have always wanted that closure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Never. That's a promise from Jesus.
Never.
But yeah,
one of the
coincidence.
awesome things about these seats, because they were the handicap row, and they were raised up above the seats in front of us. Because the problem if you go to a show a lot of times is the people in front of you stand up. So that means you have to stand up to see. But because these are raised up handicap seats designed for people that can't stand up, no one ever stood up in front of us.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we had the opportunity just to stay seated.
We also had like our own little footrest a little bit.
Yeah, it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's like when you get on the airplane and you got that exit row seat, where it's like a row and a half of leg room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was totally worth it. We had a whole bar behind us and everything. Yeah, too
Not
much.
that we used it.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't even drink anything.
Well,
But you're not a
I was
drinker.
the
You don't
DD.
drink anyway.
I was the DD.
You were driving.
I was driving.
Yep.
I didn't want to really hit Ari Shafir.
Really hit.
No, I didn't know how those LED lights looked up close. They looked freaking awesome up close. We were like directly under those LED, those mini monitors.
Yeah, it circles the entire arena and kind of like plays like a little graphic that says like UFC or whatever.
Yeah.
But here's the crazy thing about that, like how intensely well run that show is and how much is involved in those live performances. When that young man that we spoke so highly of earlier from Japan, Takeya Mitsugaki.
Yeah, Mitsugaki. I was gonna say Mitsubishi.
You're so racist.
You fucking racist.
If you think Brian is racist, like this video and subscribe on YouTube.
If you think Brian is racist, text 88222.
No,
Thank you, John.
no, but like as soon as this dude came in, like he was winning the. As soon as he started winning the fight, he was getting the strikes, and boom, 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 and as soon as he knocked the dude out, like instantly that graphic around there just started like flashing. It's as real as it gets,
Yeah,
some, like standard UFC kind of cliche things. They're little sayings and whatnot. Focus.
Whenever I stood up and raised my arms, victory stance, that stance, you could feel the heat coming off of those LEDs. It was pretty cool.
But I just thought how awesome it was that dude was. There was a dude in the back ready to go with as real as it gets button, just for the LED lights circle around the arena. That's some high level shit, folks. You really wrap your head around putting a show together. You can't do it. It's out of your league.
And see, the thing that amazed me that I'd love to find out more details on is how the decisions between which cameras to switch to during the fight. And how
The
quickly
director,
that happens.
the guy that's sitting just back there going pop, pop, pop. Like,
I know. I
this
just
shot.
love to see that guy work and just see how quickly responding he is, and just how that process happens. The logistics of the entire thing amaze me, but things that are just lightning fast, rapid fire like that. Mm-hmm. So the response time there is staggering.
He's actually very slow about it. He's like, give me a close-up on camera 4. Zoom in, focus, good composition, a little to the left.
Yeah, they don't really control a lot of that. But, I know if you ever watch professional wrestling, and by that I just mean WWE, one thing they always do, which I think is really awesome, is right on a major impact or something, they'll switch cameras. Like it'll be like this shot of a dude like flying off the top rope, and then right as he's gonna make contact, they switch cameras to another angle, like boom.
So it like
and
punches you in the face.
It adds impact. They're like boom, this close shot of the impact or something like that.
I wonder if they have that 7-second delay like they do on other broadcast television.
They do have a delay. Mm-hmm. It's like 7 to 10 or whatever.
Still, I mean, it's pretty quick response time.
Just being. I don't know how much of that is kind of like automated, but I don't know anything about that. But I was watching those cameramen work and stuff. I'm like, man, that is.
Oh yeah, those guys
are awesome.
Twitchy, and like when the fighters like stalking into the ring, I always assumed they had like a camera dolly kind of thing, just like following.
Oh, it's just one guy holds the camera, and there's another guy behind him that's like got the back of his belt and kind of pulls him, but more guides him because the guy holding the camera is looking this direction but moving backwards.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know where to go.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I was amazed how well that happened because out of almost anything else.
Dude, that production.
Yeah, I mean,
ridiculous.
Imagine how it's tripped. Imagine how much that would screw up everything.
Oh God,
because there's only one camera in the ring. There are like 15,000.
Dude, it happens sometimes. You can find footage with like guys hitting cameras and stuff. Not so much in UFC, but yeah, they basically got like the directors in the back, and they got a dude on a headset that's like right there waiting for the cue, and he gets the countdown, and he tells them the countdown right there, and the fighter. He's just right there. Like, this is something I was talking about when we were there at the event. Just imagine you're a fighter, and you're about to come out to some fight in front of God knows how many dozens of thousands of people. To fight, to be one-on-one and locked in a cage across from a guy that just wants you to kill you.
Yeah.
And knows how to, obviously, on a very high level, because you've made it this far. You've made it to this point in your career that you're so awesome and you're so high level. There's the other top of the echelon, the top level, are there ready to kill you, and here you are, just trying to stay warm. You got your camp behind you, which are like your coach and your corner man, your boys. They're right there behind you, but in front of you is this dude holding a camera. There's a guy with a light. There's a guy holding a boom mic, and there's a dude right there and holding the dude back of the camera guy to guide him. And there's another guy hooked up to the truck. The director's telling him what to do, and he's like right there, and he's just like, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then your music hits, and then everybody in synchrony moves. The director guy who's right there, he's moving. The guy's pulling the cameraman's holding it steady. You're coming out. You gotta like high five everybody, and you can't. It must be surreal.
Oh, absolutely,
absolutely surreal.
I wonder how much
like the pressure, just to get past that pressure to perform in that situation. Holy shit.
On some level, I kind of wonder how much of a comfort the like that particular music or musical theme is, and trying to help you get into like the zen of the moment and get you beyond all the surreality of it.
I think that makes a big point. I know Jones made a point about his come out music was his entrance music was very positive and uplifting.
I thought Benny Hill was an interesting choice for that.
Blurp. That's a joke, ladies and gentlemen. No one's laughing, but that's a joke.
Brian's laughing. Thank you, Brian.
After I said it was a joke.
But no problem.
Here's a silly point that I made at the show, because I noticed a lot of guys will come out. They'll have their entrance music. They're coming out, but they still have earbuds in. They have like their earbuds in, and they're listening to something else.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So here was the idea that I came up with. Okay, if you know you're going to be the second guy out, you come out to some real pussy shit. You come out to like some everybody love everyone, whatever. So the guy who already came out and got hyped for his entrance, he's coming out listening to this god-awful song. Stop it. He's coming out to this god-awful song. And it's just like a real like low downbeat love and whatever song, like really settling you, like calming you, while the whole time in his earbuds it's like let the bodies hit the floor. Like, it's like some super hardcore like death metal or something going on, like really hard. And while you're in there just getting this love song, and he's getting hyped up. It seems like a good strategy. Try it, folks. And if you try it, let me know. Hit me up. We'll talk.
Contact at crunchstudios.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But by the way, Rampage's song, lyrically clever.
Dude, yeah, Rampage's song. The hook for this song that Rampage came out to, I thought it was so funny because it was basically, there were lyrics and there was another part to it, but for the most part, the song was looping a guy going, I ain't going back to jail. I ain't going back to jail. I ain't. And that was very funny to me.
For at least 2.5 minutes as he walked out slowly.
It was very funny to me because he had all that problem where he crashed a car and hit a lady that miscarried a baby in a truck that had his picture on the side of it. Anyway, we won't talk about that. So yeah, let's let's wrap up that UFC talk. If anything you want to add about your own experience, I mean, feel free, because I've kind of just been throwing it out there and leading it, but
no, I'm
your people too.
I'm totally simpatico.
Simpatico.
Simpatico. Yeah, it's the sequel to Gattaca. Simpatica.
It's a good movie.
I haven't seen it. What does that mean though?
It's just being stupid.
Oh, okay.
No,
I knew that the joke, but
simpatico just means just like basically just like being in sync, feeling the same way.
Oh, okay.
It's like sort of like connecting and just thinking exactly along the same lines.
It's a smarter way of saying ditto.
I like that. I'm always trying to up my vocabulary. No, but when I used to wrestle, like it was pretty cool being one of like they set up like 3 mats in a gym and being like 1/3 of the attention to an entire like gym of people.
Yeah, that was something
amazing.
that you said when we were there. That you said, look at all these. You kind of had that epiphany moment. You go, look at all these people just focusing on 2 guys.
Yeah, that just like I mean it's amazing. It's indescribable, but it's just really really freaking cool being.
You hear
just
that Homeland
2
Security
people.
plane?
You say home ass security.
Homeland Security plane.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, you can tell. What? I'm serious. You didn't see these things out? In the last few years, these things sort of flying up. You can tell. You look right up at them. They're low flying. They have like a specific layout, like a certain paint job and light structure on it. You fly over and you go, oh, there's the guys.
I thought it was a UFO.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I respect the Department of Homeland
I got
Security.
no
with all
problem
of
with
my
that.
heart.
Dude, keep us safe, brothers.
Sorry, but so many people
Yeah.
paying attention, just 2 dudes.
Yeah, there's like, and imagine all that pressure, like Chris said, all that pressure from walking out, and
It's something we'll never experience.
yeah, it's amazing.
Or maybe, why not?
Yeah.
Well,
All of a sudden, game developers get super retard famous.
Yeah.
You've been a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I did pro wrestling, and you do have to come out to the ring. It's interesting. It's a good. It's like I can't really explain the way you feel from the crowd, because
I feel the same.
they train you in the way that if you come out as a bad guy, and I started as usually, especially if you're terrible, you start as a bad guy, and that's what I started as a bad guy because I was terrible. Look, I'm a big lanky guy, dude. I'm not gonna come out and start like cutting bridges and flips. It's not happening. I'm 6'4". I'm not gonna cut a flip. Fuck you. That guy in our class that was 5'6", he was cutting flips. You liked him for that, and he was automatically a good guy. I'm 6'4", can't cut a flip. Means you hate me. But yeah, no, I learned how to work that and love it, and it's really what you learn is I guess it kind of goes back to Kosek, is the idea of the heat. When you've got a huge group of people booing you, you kind of feel like this heat built inside of you. It's like, I should be upset.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you learn to tame that in your own self, then people start booing. You're like, yeah, it feels so. Like the heat feels good. It's like you know when you get in the shower and the shower's hot, and you like a hot shower, but then you get used to that hot shower, so you cut it up a little hotter, just that little bit, and you feel that extra heat come in. You're like, ah. That's what it feels like. It's like the crowd is just pouring this energy on you, and that's what it feels like.
Oh yeah.
So I bet you that's what Kosek felt like. He was in a hot shower.
Yeah.
I always wondered how someone like psychologically comes around to be able to accept being the guy that is that hated and find some way to really feed off that into something positive.
Oh, dude,
instead of
just
just quailing, you know.
Look, the worst thing is nothing.
Oh yeah. No response
If
at
the
all.
crowd is dead, it is horrible. But if you get it's really, a lot of it has to do with the crowd themselves. The crowd being hot. Like the best example I ever have was there was this big like a fair, Prince William County Fair. It was in Manassas, Virginia, and it was a wrestling show we did where, look, I was still low level, but they trusted me enough because I was trained at the school that was running the event, so they knew that I was able to do whatever I do. But the point is, this event was at a fairground in suburbs of Virginia. What that meant was we were in a show barn doing a pro wrestling match that before us there was a cow show.
Did they clean up after?
Yeah, we cleaned up after. The whole floor was hay, like thick hay and manure. We got in there and cleaned up. And those guys did a great job cleaning that. It was amazing. They all of a sudden, boom, they scraped it down to the fresh concrete. We put up a wrestling ring. set up an entrance, set up the lights. My gimmick was setting up the entrance and lights because I'm tall, so I could reach up and set the lights up.
Yeah.
That was my gimmick, dude. And also it was dealing with electronics. And look, here's the real deal, folks. If you have any level of competence with anything around people that do not, then it is your job to lead those people into competence. So that was what I had to do. Like, I was already a game developer for years, so I was already smart enough to clearly have a career. So when it came to plugging lights into an electrical socket, I had this ability above a lot of people. Look, it sounds crazy, but
no, it's
think about the people that you deal with. Okay, if you're a game developer and you're watching this, you have to accept the fact that everybody that you work with was at least competent enough to also get a job as a game developer. Not some Joe at a gas station, not a guy working at a fast food, or a guy that couldn't even get a job, but somehow applied to a pro wrestling school. And there was a lot of these guys, and just like mental capacity of certain people. Like, I'm not, a lot of these guys were great guys and super smart guys, but just weren't ready to dedicate themselves to that tunnel vision or that drive that it takes to say, I got to do this right now. This is what I'm doing, and I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I fell in that line a lot of times, where I would kind of show up for a wrestling show just a little bit later than normal because I had to work. And they'd be like, oh, thank God you got here. They'll look at the lights. I'd look over and be like, none of them are set up, guys. And they're like, well, you're here, so could you do that? Yeah, no problem. But, yeah. So this particular show, cleaned up all the manure, set up the ring, and then the guy, Mark Bravera, who was an awesome guy, I respect him, and he gave me a lot of opportunities. And he's moved on and done, hopefully done good. I've seen him in this, remember Taz?
Yeah.
ECW? He has this school, and Mark Bravera appeared in a couple of his ads.
Oh, nice.
So that means at least he's still going. So I got all the respect in the world for Mark. I wish you the best. Anyway, he was basically kind of like running this show, and the start of this show was a big battle royal, which would let everybody that wasn't so great at putting on whole matches have a spot. Or maybe they didn't know him so well and they're trying them out. Like when you're doing a wrestling promotion and you bring in a bunch of guys that you've never worked with before, you give them a tryout with like a battle royal. Because this is the example of, just go out there and just, you do some punch, kick, and some stuff. You don't really do anything. But at least you can, if you can listen enough to get out of the ring when you're supposed to, then that's a start in pro wrestling.
And plus, I imagine just in terms of sheer numbers, like giving someone a chance like that, it's much less of a risk on the behalf of the Wrestling Federation, just because if there are that many people in a ring, how much can one person screw up? But can you hold your own in the middle of a lot of chaos as well? At least in
a battle royal situation, if you're one person screwing up, a veteran that's in the ring at the time is going to come over and fix you.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's very easy to do. Like when I would see a guy that had nothing going on, and I just had like a guy like work on me for a bit, and when you're working on you, you're not just like watching the guy who's like working on you. You're taking in everything you can.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay attention to everybody around you. Because a battle royal is actually in professional wrestling, like the battle royal situation is the most dangerous. Because you have so many guys in the ring at the same time doing.
How big it usually is a battle royale? Is it like 3-on-3 or 2-on-2 or?
It's not like a number of people on each other.
Oh, it's just like
every few minutes you send a guy to the ring.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And you're told when you're supposed to go out.
Okay.
Or you kind of there's a certain point where everybody has to get out of the ring for the big finale, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But fundamentally, it's bedlam.
Yeah, fundamentally it's bedlam. Basically, you just go in there and have people beat on you until you want to go out.
Okay.
Unless, like, if you like high level stuff like WWE, people have the exact times and stuff. Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, it could be very ad-libbed and be pulled off very easily. Like, we just basically were told, go to the ring and just battle royale. And we were told when this one specific guy, there was this guy who was like huge. He was like 6'8", big dude, huge, big black guy. He was the guy they were working on pushing for the shows. They said when he stay in the ring till he comes out, then he eliminates you. So what that entails is, whenever you come out, that means that you have to stay in the ring and get beat on up until the point where that guy comes out. Now, for me,
so, when the kingpin arrives,
yes. So here's how this thing went out. Like I said, I was blessed. This was one of my top moments in my pro wrestling career, if you want to call it that, because I never made any money. It was all for fun, dude. It was just for fun. You did it for fun.
But not a lot of people fucking do that.
But yeah, so we're at this Prince William County Fairgrounds, this big Prince William County Fair. The stands are packed. It's awesome. I'm like so excited. And they're like, all right, you're going out first. I mean, by first, but you're the first heel. The first bad guy.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, oh, dude, I felt blessed.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you, shaking hands, thank you, all this shit. And so I went out, and I had this juggling gimmick, because I can juggle. I had a gimmick where I juggle. So I came out, and basically the little balls they gave me, there's actually some of them down there with like the smiley faces on it and shit.
You want me to toss you one?
Nah. Well, okay. Anyway, they had all these like gimmick balls, so to speak. You'll see that like the smallest, that's one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one.
These balls?
Yeah, throw them. I'll catch them. Yeah, this one for sure. Yeah, these are all gimmick balls because these all had this. Anyway, these things are like little shitty balls. They have like a smiley face on them and like a little crappy little. It's the alien. But anyway, they gave me these balls and they're like, hey, you go out there and you juggle these. And that was my whole gimmick. Cause he said you get these balls because you can throw them to the audience. And when I would do a good guy, that's great. Because I come out and I'm like, hey, and I throw them the ball, and everybody loves me. Because I'm giving them stuff for free.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a bad guy, I love this so much because it's so easy to do. I went out and I was like coming out juggling, like having a great time. Like, yeah, look at this. I was doing all my tricks and stuff. And then I get them in my hand. I stop juggling, get them in my hand, and I start like signaling to the crowd like I'm gonna throw them. I'm gonna throw it to you. I go to this side. I go, you want it? And they get up and they cheer. But then I go, no, this side. I throw it to you. And then I gotta do that a few times to get them like really, really ready for me to throw this stuff. And then I go, and I put on a frown, a big frown, and a scowl. Go frown. I go, nope, and I throw them down. And now everybody wants me dead.
He wouldn't give us his little juggly balls.
He wouldn't give me that garbage crap. He wouldn't throw that trash at me. But no, like, and I do that gimmick, and
that's awesome.
And I throw them down. I'm like, yeah, and I go right to the ring, and I'm like, yeah.
I'm the selfish juggler.
I'm bad. Yeah. And then the next guy that comes out, he's the good guy. And he comes out with like the same little balls too, but he has like one that's shaped like a football because he's a part of a tag team called D-Line, defensive line.
Yeah.
They do like a football gimmick. And he comes out with a few and he throws them to the crowd, so automatically he's the good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So
it's a good setup.
So we come out and it's just me and him starting this battle royal. And again, I tell you what, I can't say enough how blessed I felt to be like, wow. You seriously trust me enough to be the first guy to go out? And like I said, I milked it and earned it.
Yeah,
I earned it.
That's awesome, dude.
That was cool. And so he comes out and we start working, and he's bigger than me. He clearly can beat me, so he's beating me, and I'm letting him do what he does because he's bigger than me and he's more experienced. So I'm listening to him. That's what you're supposed to do in any profession. In game art, you better listen. So,
listen to your elders.
So he's working on me, and then guess who comes out the third guy? His tag team partner.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're boned.
Joke's on me.
Yeah.
These two guys just start beating the living hell out of me. Like, just putting all their tag team moves on me that I've never heard before. They, like, grab me in the corner and explain it to me, and then, boom, put it on me. And
You're gonna die.
yeah, no, they're you know what? Look, they're literally beating me up bad, but they're totally pro about it. Like dude, they do the double team. It's two big giant black dudes that are both cut huge, and they'll push me into the ropes, and they do me the what do you call it? The spine buster.
Mm.
They both pick me up and double spine buster me, and I was literally unconscious for like a second. I hit the mat, like they slammed me into that mat, and I was like, boom. And I was like, for a second, I was unconscious, but I went into automatic training mode, and just like sold it long for them to pick me up, and then just started working on me.
And that's the day Chris forgot math.
Yeah, I forgot math. I became a juggalo. No, started drinking Fago.
That's the progression.
Stopped reading books. So yeah, they did that to me, and like, dude, that sucked. I was literally unconscious for like a second or two. But the point is, they just hit me with a big move. So my point, all I had to do was lay there and act like I just got killed, because I did.
Yeah.
Two big dudes just dropped their fucking team finisher on me. So I had to lay there dead. But it's a battle royal, so they gotta like throw me over the top rope. So they like do the whole thing where they pick me up and start working me in the corner. And by then, the next guy came out. Luckily for me, it's a heel.
That's good.
And so it starts kind of balancing the power. And yeah, like I said, it was I did some stupid stuff in the battle royal. Like I started chopping the guy, and then he turned me into the corner and chopped me across the throat. Just to get me back, but like stuff like that. But at the end, then the big guy that was supposed to win came out, and he came out, and as soon as he came out, I was like, I had gotten, like I said, I was kind of still dizzy from earlier, and I was beat up pretty bad from being the first guy that came out. I was ready to go. I was like, all right, I had my moment, and this is quite a ways in. Like, this is several guys in, because we had the bad guy come out, and the bad guy's tag team partner come out. So we were all like working on these guys. And then another good guy came out, and then another good guy came out. And the one good guy, like I said, he chopped me in the throat and chopped me up pretty hard. He lit me up good. And the other good guy that came out, he's a buddy of mine, but he was also in school with me, so he was working on this new gimmick called the Ninja, where they put him in a full ninja suit and he came out. But just for the kids.
Yeah.
And
kids love ninjas.
he did like a jumping, spinning back kick right into my fucking ear. Like a bunch of stuff was just hitting me, and it was getting pretty brutal.
Kids love that.
Yeah. So when the guy came out, he was the guy that's supposed to take everybody out. He was a buddy of mine, so it was cool. As soon as he came out, I went right for him. I'm like, I do the pull move. I do the move like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker right here. I go, and he immediately like grabs me and starts beating me up, and I sail right to the center of the rope. Hits me with the clothesline. I go over the top rope, and I'm out.
Dude, that sounds intense as hell.
It was awesome.
And at those small town county fairs, the crowd gets really, really into it.
Oh yeah, the crowd's into it, and they're like right there, and they're not getting away. And the weird thing is, like, after the show, like, people keep saying shit to you.
Oh yeah.
Like, most people are cool, they get it, they understand, but some people still like stick with the storylines and stuff. It's like, come on, guy.
And that means you did your job good.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like, you should have thrown the fucking juggly balls, you dick.
Now, anybody that
you made my sheep cry.
Anybody that stayed late, we were super cool too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like a hell of an experience. It's really cool that you got the chance to do
Dude,
that.
I have so many pro wrestling stories, I can tell.
You actually got to do that with a game artist buddy of ours.
Yeah, Tracy Hunt.
Yep.
We trained together. He worked his way into a referee position, but Tracy will tell you straight up, he's just not really into... He likes pro wrestling, he likes training pro wrestling, he likes doing it and learning it. But when it comes to the whole performing in front of the crowd, that's just not really his thing. He doesn't care for it. So he never really got into doing matches like I did. Like that was for me. For me, I just wanted to be there. I wanted to be a part of it.
Tracy's things always seem to be like, no matter what he does, he loves achieving a position of just quiet competence and confidence.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't need to be a showboat.
He doesn't want to be in front of anybody.
He gets to be a badass because he wants to be a fucking badass, and he does that, and he doesn't make a big deal out of it. I've always respected that about people because that is the opposite of me.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, he got kind of strung into a tough position. The first time he had to do a show, he was, like I said, he was given a referee position. He had to ref this match. And what happened was, the night that he got to be a referee, he was really nervous about it. In addition to being a referee, like the first time ever, during the match that he had, it was supposed to be an Iron Man match. So it's supposed to last. But what an Iron Man match means in pro wrestling is, it doesn't matter how you win or how many pinfalls you get, the match lasts a set amount of time. But what was happening was, that particular night, our wrestling, the venue was raided by the police.
What the hell?
And the promoter was working really hard to keep staving them off. Like, they were coming in and like ushering people, like the wrestlers, the workers were backstage, started getting ushered out because they're trying to meet building capacity, and all this stuff was going on, and they kept extending the match.
Oh my god.
So it was a long match to begin with, and it was his first time in the ring, and they kept like just coming to him and like getting him and saying, come here, and he was like, we're going another 15 minutes, tell the guys. And he never had any experience talking to pro wrestlers in the middle of a match. You have to tell these guys to go another 15 minutes because the cops are here raiding the joint.
God dang.
And he was, it just put him in a really tough spot.
Oh,
like, he was so nervous. And,
dude, that would have been an amazing gimmick. I mean,
I know, right? He could have used it in a different way.
God, poor guy. I mean, that's extreme. Like, first time out, can you imagine being under that much pressure for shit like that?
That's a long extension.
Well, yeah.
And there was numerous of those?
There was like a few. Where it was like the match. It wasn't really like he came and said 15 minutes. He just came and said, kept going.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So basically what happened was, the match that he was supposed to ref based on a certain amount of time now became whatever.
Yep.
Just keep going.
It just gets to the
And
point where
the crowd was getting pissed at him because it's the first time he ever refed. So he wasn't doing everything exactly right. Because it's his first time. What's he supposed to do?
Yeah.
You can't really blame him. And like I said, everybody was put on a tough spot that night. But it was a fun night.
So his name's Tracy, and he's a game developer too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. He's working out of Boston. He was at Mythic and worked with Chris for many years.
He's a good guy.
Tracy got me one of my first gigs in games, like working full-time on site.
Oh, hell yeah. Cool.
And he's a fantastic guy, absolutely brilliant environment artist. Like, he and Chris are probably the only two artists I know that will work all fucking day, do kick-ass shit, go home, and then keep doing that, just pushing their skills further and further and experimenting and trying, just learning everything they can to do all they can.
Yeah, that dude works hard.
Yeah, Tracy's an awesome dude. He's a Mojo 2K on Polycount. Or Mojo 2K or is he Ranocchio?
He's Ranocchio.
Ranocchio. Oh my god, tells you when I was last at Polycount. But yeah, Tracy is a freaking awesome dude.
Hey, you want to move into that real game industry question real quick about working at the pace of a professional?
Yes. Well, you have it up. Read it.
Dude, I can't read. It's not even a question.
Pretend it is.
Look, I'm sorry, Ilroyification, but he asked a question where he goes, I have a question also. I can do the work, but I'm fairly slow, especially by industry standards. Period. So I think he forgot the actual question, but we can derive from his statement what his question may have been.
Yeah, we can groove off that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like, in my mind, well, speed is a huge factor. I mean, just my whole thing has been contract art, freelance art, and speed is paramount. I mean, you're only going to get, there are industry standards of how long the average thing is going to take, and things are moving away from per asset based pricing and more into day rate based pricing. But so it's a lot easier to measure apples to apples in terms of, okay, this studio can do a character in 15 days. This studio can do a character in 25, the same quality level. That's going to be 10 extra days I'm paying for, so I'm going to go for the character at the studio that can do the character at the same level for cheaper. So speed definitely is a factor, both internally and externally. Something I feel that, well, you need to get up to speed. Literally, you need to be able to develop your talent, develop your skills up to the point where you can be at the same speed as a professional. And
still maintain the correct amount of quality. The
exactly.
Good amount of quality, yeah.
And one thing I was going to mention was like a speed painting, speed modeling.
Yeah.
Just set like challenges for yourself. Just like, how much can I do? Okay, I'll just grab a concept. How much can I do in an hour? Yeah. What is the level fucking best I can do in an hour? How much can I accomplish this amount of time? Then, shorten it, lengthen it, whatever. Just test yourself. If you find speed painting and speed modeling competitions on Polycount, CG Talk, CG Chat, wherever, just go there, jump on that, just do the best you can. Even if you think you may suck at it, try. You have nothing...
Speed art!
You have everything to gain and nothing to lose by trying and really going for it. Like, I used to be really, really slow at what I did, and I just get stuck on.
You're so stuck up.
I get stuck on such stupid crap. I just waffle or do this or do that, but ultimately everything is about hitting deadlines. And I just got to the point where, like, okay, I cannot afford the luxury of second guessing myself. I'm just gonna have to compress everything I need to do in this amount of time, and whatever my own neuroses I do to slow me down. I literally cannot afford that, so I just need to ignore me second guessing myself, doing this, doing that, because shit has a date. I gotta hit a date.
Yeah. Caffeine helps too.
Oh my, yes. Caffeine is the greatest working tool I've ever found.
Caffeine's a hell of a drug.
It really is. Caffeine and beer, my on switch and off switch. But
I got extremely slow at animation because for a long time I was doing icon work for our game, and they put me back on.
Coming back to it. Oh yeah.
Oh man, I was like, I didn't know how to do it. I forgot. I completely.
Dude,
forgot.
when we
no, I'm just kidding.
Well, it was me and you.
I picked it up. But
we kind of tag teamed and did all those medals and stuff, and then went into like doing all these particles and shit.
Yeah.
And this was like a couple months of stuff, right? 2 or 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, it was a bit of a transition. Then we came back. Like when I jumped back into making levels, I was like,
Oh yeah.
it's shifting gears.
Yeah, it's a huge gear shift.
Oh my gosh, I don't like going from program to program and like mixing up my hotkeys. Like, for example, in Illustrator and Photoshop as well, the spacebar is the pan tool, but in Max it's the lock button. So when I try to like, I don't know what I was thinking, because pan in Max is just middle mouse click drag, but for some reason I tried the it's just one of those things, and so I locked my selection. I was like, why can't I select anything? And it was because selection. It's just a funny annoyance.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that.
I keep freezing objects in Crytek's at Cry-Editor.
Oh yeah.
I keep freezing things.
Have you guys ever experienced this? Like, you're on a computer, we're on computers all the time, but then you go to like freehand drawing or some sort of traditional art, and you make a mistake, and instead of flipping your pencil over to erase, you go like this. You literally do this with your left hand, and it's like, oh man,
Control Z in real life.
Oh yeah,
I've tried to undo plenty of times.
I should have explained what I was doing with my hand.
No, dude, it made complete sense.
Dude, I knew what you were talking about as soon as you said, "Have you ever?"
Yeah.
It's just like, yep.
Oh man.
Yeah,
it's funny little things like that that you get used to.
It's amazing how ingrained that kind of thing gets. Like you learn to rely on a certain tool or a certain way of doing things. I mean, I've over the years, I'm kind of psychotic. I started out using Lightwave, where the 3 main tools are, obviously, like a move, rotate, and scale. It goes T for move, translate, Y for rotate, just because it's next to T, then H for scale, because it's next to T and Y. So I would automatically remap every 3D app I would ever use to use those same keys.
Oh no.
Just because but I have all sorts of crazy key bindings and key settings, because I don't like having to remember too much crap from across from one program to another.
Yeah.
But something in a studio environment that really that's actually really irritated art directors and art leads I've worked with is that makes it impossible for them to use my computer to be able to do their own changes, which adds time to their feedback and makes it harder to iterate on my own kind
Dude,
of
I've had the same problem at companies before. I said, save your freaking settings.
Yeah.
Like Max has a user profile. You just save it and you go right to it and you go, don't be a goofus. Don't tell an artist that he shouldn't have his own custom keys. Use your freaking brain and save your own. Stupid.
Well, not everybody thinks that way.
What, you mean like this tool has a feature and I should use it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They don't.
Yeah, but it's something I've gotten crapped for. Not that it's changed my behavior in any way whatsoever. I mean, I can use standard settings and everything, but I've hotkeyed all my 3D apps out all to hell, just so they're all identical across everything I use.
Yeah.
But it's unusable to anybody else, which actually had slowed things down in the past.
You know, these new suites, like since Maya is now owned by Autodesk, they have these setups where you can just apparently just toggle between like Maya style hotkeys and Mac style hotkeys,
and that's brilliant.
Which is pretty nice for those in the transition period between one company or another, or one software package and another. But one thing, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's great. I've really been impressed with the interoperation Max and Maya have had post acquisition. Because I mean, I've always been a Maya guy. I hate Max. I really do. I'm really good at it. I know how to do everything I need to do in it in a professional capacity, and I've used it for almost my entire career.
Yeah, and that's all subjective. I mean, that argument gets tossed around.
Yeah,
all the
I've
time.
used both in my career, and I like both, and they're both just tools.
Yeah, I have fun.
Maya has its benefits, Max has its benefits, but
I'm very biased. I prefer Maya, but I've used Max for most of my career.
That's because your brain was damaged at a company while you were using Maya. God. Just accept it. I wrote comics about this.
I really hope in like 15 or 20 years, hopefully less than that, Autodesk like combines all three, Softimage, Max, and
15
Maya.
or 20.
And they're getting so close now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But it's
once they get like a Mudboxy ZBrush kind of editor as well.
Mm-hmm.
They bought Mudbox.
Yeah, exactly. I'm talking about getting that in there. Like I want to open up a model in 3ds Max and I want to start mudboxing on that model. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're not far off.
We're really not. Just like the FBX format interoperability is amazing. Like I had a contract recently where I was working on a Facebook
FBX
game.
is what Unreal's all about now.
Good.
I love that.
I haven't had the opportunity to work with Unreal yet. I'm mostly working like
maybe if you work with us in the future.
Maybe you'd fucking hire me.
Hey, I put you in front of the boss today.
No, I know you're good. You're good. But that'll work out. But I was working on a Facebook game that required the Maya format, but the artist I was working with was a whiz with Max and not Maya. But I know both of them. I know enough to be able to translate from one to the other, but I'd never done it in through the FBX format before. So I was able to really pin down exactly what needs to happen in the respective software packages to be able to make my job easier, to be able to translate what the artist sent me into what the client expects, and to basically narrow the gap. So there was almost like a one-to-one, easily translatable save from Max to Maya to submission. It was really interesting seeing how much data is ported over successfully and how accurate it can be. Just because I'm used to exporting to 3DS, having to re-weld all the vertices, or exporting to OBJ and having to re-rotate that or reset the surface normals or crap like that. But they've really gotten a hell of a thing going on. I've been super impressed with how well they play together these days.
I've never used FBX. I've always used OBJ, but that was a long time ago. That was a couple of years ago. So that's probably back when OBJ was preferred or whatever. I don't really know.
And OBJ's
I mostly use OBJ for exporting to Unreal.
Okay.
There were some engines back in the days that used it over time. I can't remember any in particular.
And OBJ's always been the best.
It's just always been there, man.
And do you remember 3D? Dude, when we were working on Gore, and I was exporting from Lightwave to 3D Studio Max.
That's what it was with OBJ. Is it's definitely usable between multiple softwares. I mean, every software. I've heard. Well, I don't know.
Oh, they totally get it, and they export the actual materials with it.
Yeah.
With 3DS.
That's why I always use OBJ, was because it was so diverse.
Yeah, it preserves smoothing groups. It wouldn't break apart every single fucking vertex like 3DS would.
When someone was working, What's that?
Do you remember that crap? Like
Say again?
breaking apart every single vertex in 3DS format? When they
Yeah.
export every single triangle is just broken out.
You can still
All
get
smoothing
OBG
groups.
exports that do that. Like if you export, if you're doing a UDK scene, no matter what you have in Unreal, you can export it to OBJ, but it'll be kind of bushed it up like that. If you go through Edit Mesh, correct it, then convert to Edit Poly, you're fine. But if you don't weld verts before you convert to Edit Poly, you still have everything triangulated, and it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Well, 3DS would break every single triangle apart by default. Like, that's by design. That's the way it did it. It would destroy all smoothing groups. You would not find two vertices welded at once. And that drove Joel, our old boss at 40 Rulers, absolutely freaking crazy because we weren't able to figure out what the deal was.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Old school.
No, it's as far as like working faster. I know that was the question that we led far, far out of.
Yep.
OBJ for life. OBJ for life, bro. For me, I've kind of always been considered somebody that works fast, but I've also been considered. I've been told that I'm an 11th hour artist, and that you can see my work and it's like, that's not so great. That's not so great. And all of a sudden, it's great at the end. And kind of what that would translate to is I was always into, I feel that my art doesn't matter in an editor. I feel that my art only matters in a game. So when I start making art and saving art and making updates over a server or Perforce or Visual Source Safe, whatever you want to call it, where other people are looking at my work, they see every step. They see like, okay, here's my block out. Here's I'm just kind of tinkering around, getting some ideas, just figuring it out. They're seeing that the whole time up until the end where they're like, oh, it's awesome now because it's done. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. But for me, I feel that it doesn't really matter what I'm working on. Because I've been making games for too long, people.
Yeah,
I don't care what it looks like in Max. I don't care what it looks like in Maya. I don't care what it looks like in some sort of model viewer. I don't care what it looks like in Marmoset. I don't care what it looks like in Photoshop. You can paint over it all you want. I don't give a fuck. I care about that real time.
Hell yeah.
And so, because I focus on that so much, it could, if you're in a position of you're just looking at art for art's sake in an editor on a computer monitor, then first of all, you can go fuck yourself. But you can totally hear that toilet flush. That's funny. Hey, did you hear a toilet flush? That's funny. It's like Married with Children. Ed O'Neill. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. Forget about it. Sure, please. Anyway, the point is, if someone's going to criticize you heavily for a placeholder art,
yeah,
they have never made games.
Yeah.
I've been criticized heavily on... Oh, this is a different one. Oh, this is mine. Never mind.
Yep.
This is a 9% beer I've been drinking. Because I'm hard as fuck.
That would...
I'm from the mountains, bitch.
That used to be one of my pet peeves in college. I would be modeling something, and I would... In Max, when you drag out an object, it's default a random color that it randomly picks. The object is.
Oh God, I hate that.
Dude. Yeah. I remember in our own development process when you would set up all your masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Brian did a lot of art, like menu style art, where it's just a piece of art where it's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he always just draws out the masks and doesn't pay any attention to the colors.
Because color doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Because you double click on the mask and set the color. Duh. Are you stupid? Have you never used Photoshop or Illustrator? Why are you watching this? Because you're learning, and thank you.
We love you, viewers.
You just learned something very important.
That was just one of my pet peeves. I would always get that question.
And I'd
be like, what do you think of this?
And when you sat beside
why
me...
is it green?
Yeah.
Why is it green? It's green because it's fucking green. What do you think about the shape of it? I haven't gotten to the coloring yet.
Because the coloring doesn't matter.
There's certain steps you have to follow. Just tell me what you think
We
of the
already
line
wrote a style guide that lists out a palette that it's going to be. What the F?
Yeah, exactly.
As far as being an art leader and like art director goes, I mean, the only thing that's they're busy enough. The only thing that's gonna be on their mind is how close this thing they see immediately meets the needs of what they expect, no matter what disclaimers you bring up. And
yeah,
there's also
a lot of these
degree
art leads are trying to just meet a deadline.
Yeah, and a lot of time they want to feel involved in the process. So it's like, even if it's technically perfect, they're going to want to change like one or two little things just to be able to make it feel like they contributed and feel like it's a part of, yeah, like feel like it's something they've done, like they've contributed to it. It's a part of them. It's a proof of what they do, which is, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'd say it's an extremely common thing. It's just a need to want to, be like tangibly, visibly involved in what you do, especially if you have an art background. But a lot of times, I mean, people will like overlook, like what you said, like, okay, these colors are not final. What do you think of the shape? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Just ignore this part. Look at that.
They always focus on the part that you tell them to ignore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just because they want to feel involved, they want to be able to have some hand in doing it, and I'd say a lot of the time it's probably unconscious. But I mean, in a weird way, the higher level you are, the more you need to justify your position. The more you need to justify your worth and your expense, to be perfectly frank. And they'll cling on, like, if they don't have anything to critique or anything to criticize, they'll like look for like the lowest hanging fruit they can, if there's like some level of desperation to try and be involved. And also, I feel like I'm overstating it to some extent. It's not like a blind desperation. It's not like, oh my God, I need to justify my job. It's just, I think it's just a basic need to feel involved with a lot of different, influences going into that decision. But it can manifest in really annoying, really unfortunate ways, just sort of like what you said, like, they can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah. And I don't have much experience, so I can't offer too much advice, but one thing that I do know is never point out your mistakes, and that'll speed up workflow very drastically.
You learned that very early.
Oh yeah.
You're very fortunate.
Never tell anyone your mistakes. Like if for example with an animation, if there's just one frame that where something like just slightly clips through, like a body part slightly clips through another body part, I'm not going to stop it on that one frame and tell my boss, there's this one part where this happens or whatever, because that one frame is going to go completely unnoticed, and you get clipping all the time with game characters.
Oh yeah.
So that's just a minor example, but it could
Great
be
example.
Yeah, it could be anything really. It could happen with models, I'm sure. So, but yeah, that's my little tip.
That's
Just a tip, eh, Brian?
Yeah, just a tip. Just a tip.
No, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's not always, if something's in progress, I know, like one example I use is, I mean, it's like your car. You drive your car every single day, and you're going to know every scratch and every dent in that car. You're the only person that's going to be that self-conscious of what you have or what you're working on. Other people may not see the same things you do, but it may meet the needs or the approval of somebody else that isn't going to be as picky as you because they're not as intimately acquainted with it. If you're showing someone something that's like 75% done, thank you, I approve of the way you feel about what I'm saying. If you're showing someone something that's 75% done, at most all you need to say is like, okay, still working on this. Here it is. What do you think? Without needing to point out like, okay, the feet clip here. I know like the head is way too big or this or that. There's not necessarily a need to like point out every single thing of that, as long as that's something you have in mind and something you want to fix. And really, when you're dealing with an art director, ideally you'd like to bring in an unfiltered, unbiased outside opinion. You don't want to guide them. You don't want to, guide them is sort of a weird term. It's like, okay, what do you think of this? And you want to have them ideally have as open a mind as possible, like sitting down, looking at it, thinking about it freshly without any context. But if you give them sort of like a leading question, saying, okay, I know the foot's screwed up or this or that, that's exactly what they're going to hone in on.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be able to focus on things that you might not see.
I never really thought of it, but yeah, it would be better to just say something like, what do you just literally say the sentence, what do you think of this, and just send them the piece. It would save you a lot of time. And also, they could give you every suggestion, even if you already know that that's something that you were going to work on. I never really thought of it before, but I assume that that's probably the better route, rather than listing everything that I, as an artist, think is wrong with this, and I do plan on working on. It would I don't know. That makes sense. Is that what you're saying?
Basically? Yeah, I mean, many times, yes.
Yeah.
In other circumstances, if you're struggling with something specific, or just like, well, not even struggling, just like you're not super happy with it. You're like, I feel like this could be better, but I'm not sure how. Could you take a look at this thing and tell me what you think?
Yeah, that's the problem with most artists, and that's one reason why why a lot of artists are afraid to show off their work, is because instead of focusing on the 98% of the amazing art that they did, that artist is literally just nitpicking at that 2% that they know that they could have done better, or they screwed up on. Or
I can see a seam.
Yeah.
I see a polygon.
Whereas the general audience is not going to notice that. So.
Right. There's the whole other level of like artist self-betterment. I mean, like there's what the audience will ultimately see and perceive, and there's what you want just for yourself as an artist in terms of the pride of your work. I think there's a distinct difference between, hey art director, what do you think of this? By the way, I know this, and this are broken, versus, hey art director, look at this. This is the exact thing that I'm focusing on. Can you give me feedback on this? It may not always work, but if you sort of like choose a different focal point upon introducing that to them, I feel like you'll be able to get a lot more focused response.
Dude, I've lightened up a lot, like in the last few years, especially, in that whole position of directing people. Like art's got. I don't want to say like it's a weird way of putting it. It's to say art's gotten better to me, but I've just been more accepting, because I've seen so much art that passes.
Yeah.
At that like okay, at the console game level, getting art by is, I don't want to say this is it's like it's easier, it sucks. No, I'm saying I understand so much more about the technical requirements of getting things in, that a lot of times when I see something that just doesn't look horrible, I'm like, yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just feels like doors have opened for me. Like
it's a lot more about the overall cohesion of everything.
Yeah, like everything coming together, not just me like looking at one piece and being like, oh, you need a little more dough on the. It's
like this doesn't need to be the best door of all time.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like a lot of things just don't matter. Like the general consumer, the product itself, and overall, if you want to like nitpick things all day, you can do that, but you're just destroying the overall product. You're not focusing on what really matters. Like, just look at things logistically. Like, how important is this one piece right here? Okay, number one is the performance. That's how I look at it now. I go, okay, how's the performance?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then once the performance is good, I go, okay, I got the performance slammed. How can we make this thing a little better?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's really it. It's not,
it's a new baseline.
Like, I want the gamers to have a good experience. And the art is one thing, but just it has to run. Yeah. If it doesn't run, then they're clearly not going to have a good experience. I mean,
yeah.
Woo.
I was just curious if the person that sent this email, that was a statement that was supposed to be a question, if he happened to mention what he did. He didn't, so we could talk. I was going to talk more specifically on that.
Hey,
but...
Run.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
That's a delocated reference.
Yeah.
What is he, thick cut? Like he's got like abs or something?
It's a big. He's got a big dick. That's
actually,
what it is.
Cool. Chris, something I was going to actually kind of riff off of what we were saying earlier about
Please.
It's just how it's about the overall art cohesion. So, I was working. I probably shouldn't say this.
You don't have to say the name of the place.
I think it'll be more if I do, because ultimately it's a sign of respect.
Do what you gotta do.
So when I was working at Ready and On Studios on Daxter for the PSP, I got to work with a lot of the source art assets from the Jak and Daxter games, and those games are some of the most beautiful games.
Look, Brian, you're thinking of a girl in a bikini.
Am I? I can barely see it.
Okay, you're not anymore.
But I was thinking of a girl in a bikini.
That jived very well with my point. Thank you, Chris. So I was working at Ready On Studios on Daxter for the PSP, and I worked with a lot of the Jak and Daxter assets. And those are some damn beautiful games. The art direction of those is absolutely flawless. The animation is still above and beyond what is in most games these days.
To technically run on a PSP at the quality it ran. I played all through Daxter as a gamer. It was a good game.
Thank you. Like, we hit 30 FPS steady, and we were damn proud of that, and had no obvious load times.
Yeah, there was no. You just like played. It was just like Jack and Daxter. You just loaded and the levels, but they happened like streamingly in. You just like boom and just go play this level. And there were all these mini games. There were a few of them that were good, but
Yeah, I know.
one of my personal. I had a problem with one later, but what I found out was because it was a portable game, you could pause it any time. You could spam the pause button or start button to be slow mo.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the only way I could beat one of those required mini games.
Some of their mini
To
games
beat
are
the
pretty
game.
brutal.
Yeah, they got a
I
little
have to
tough.
admit. But like actually just fun sort of like side tidbit. In Daxter, the way we hid loading levels was doors unlocking. My entire job was creating as many different types of doors as I could with as many different looping unlocking mechanisms as I could, like, you know, gears turning or this or that, just all sorts of crazy crap. I had to create a loop for it that could loop infinitely until the next area loaded. So if you got to the end of a certain level too quickly, it would be sitting there like for up to like 5 seconds, whatever, before it would unload, and before it would like unlock and actually open and let you through. In the original Jack and Daxter, they're actually really, really slick about it. You'd be running around the world and you'd be about to go to a new zone, but it wasn't loaded yet, so so they would actually have Jack trip and fall flat on his face.
That's what they did to slow you down.
Yeah, they slowed you down deliberately. You used to randomly trip and fall on your damn face while they load the next area, and you'd never connect the two, which is freaking hilarious. But my overall point is,
Hey Brian, I'm the Green Lantern.
you're fucking up my story, dude.
I know, I'm trying to. I'm just kidding.
So I got to work with a lot of the source assets from Jack and Daxter, and that's one of the best art-directed series of games I've ever seen in my life. The animation, the voice acting, just absolutely everything is top-notch. Naughty Dog is one of my favorite game developers in the world, just bar none. But I got to work with the individual assets, and, you know, I'm a character artist by trade. That's what I've always done. That's what I've always focused on. So I got to, you know, work with Naughty Dog art assets. And individually, they weren't that impressive. They didn't look that good to me. It's like, I mean, they were functional, they were pretty good, but they just seemed really bland and weird. But just like when looked at individually. But what I eventually realized was, like, the true genius of what they did is everything, it might not be like a super awesome AAA, like, okay, let's, you know, take a look at like a single thread and polycount or something, like, or a CG talk, like a 5-star rated, like the best model in the world. Every single one of those might not be at that exact level. They are of such a consistent style, such a consistent quality over so much of the game. All the environment art, all the textures, all the characters, all the animation fit together in such a transcendent way that the game looked 10 times better for it, because everything was truly complementary in a way I still can't fully put my finger on. And it really made me appreciate how amazing art direction can be. Even if the individual pieces don't look all that good or all that impressive, it's the way they fit together, the way they're assembled in the world, and the way it fits in the gameplay that really makes it something truly great. And that was something that made me respect Naughty Dog 10 times more than I already did. Wow. It blew my fucking mind. It was truly incredible how much they were able to do. I like what you're doing there, Chris.
Dude, I'm enjoying your story and experimenting with these effects. There's all these obviously, look, folks, if you've been looking at the video version of this, I've been experimenting with, look, here's my hat, my pretty hat. Just experimenting, just seeing what's up. Because I feel like I had the time.
Yeah, I'm monologuing. You figure you have the time.
Yeah.
So what's how far through the cast are we?
we're good. We're plenty in. We're good to go. I figured it was about time to wrap up anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you telegraphing the hell out of that.
You're welcome. Look, I do my best.
Yeah, I know we
That's
have
what's
to
important.
be up in like 6 hours anyway. Drive me to the airport.
Oh shit! What time is it?
Aeropuerto.
Oh, I completely forgot to turn off my phone.
What
Doesn't
time is it?
matter.
Like 1:30?
It's 2:30.
Fuck! Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Oh my god.
It's AM, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Everyone out there.
No big deal.
Oh god, my plane leaves at 10:30.
All right. Well, good night, John.
So yeah, we did our little podcast. I got my little. I don't know if you folks noticed, but the little name tag here thing at the bottom is kind of a humorous parody on the UFC name tags.
Oh, I should have said that so we could keep using it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's pretty dope. But no, it's just based on that, so I gotta make something different for the next one. I want to do that every time. Just try to make something fancy. Get comfortable with it. Make it fun. So yeah, the Crunchcast. You can follow us on YouTube, on Vimeo,
Fist bump.
on Twitter,
Bam.
Fist Bump, at Brian_McConnell, at Jon Jones, at Chris Holden DEV. CrunchStudios.com.
I fucked that up so much.
Oh, I got a new Facebook friend, too, from this Crunchcast. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
I believe in you. You know, the best part of this one is we did it all live in the studio. So it's going to be so easy for me.
Hell yeah.
Bam. So, yep. You'll be able to have this uploaded in about 18 hours.
Yeah, I know,
So,
right?
I should fly it more for these.
Yes.
Yeah, just for these. That'd be awesome.
Every Wednesday, you just fly into Jesus Christ. A gas would spin going to the airport.
Yeah,
Dude,
because
like
the DIA has to be so freaking far out there.
Like my plane ticket
I don't
isn't a
mind it.
lot.
I know,
I spent
right?
$700 to fly out here.
Just a flight?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. It'll make the show more interesting. I'll throw this at you guys.
Ow.
Here, I'll throw this one at you guys. Okay, we're sorry. We're done.
Bye.
I wonder if I can play the, whoops. I wonder if I can play the intro out. I'm gonna do it. Here we go.
Alright.
All right, I'm going to pee.
Please, let that be the last note.
Ow!
Yeah, I'm going to pee.
Check, like 212. That was fun.